All right, we're going to go ahead and get started. I would like to say before we get started, if anybody is here that would like either the presentation translated, or if you would like to help with translation whenever we leave here and go to talk to teachers or the clubs and activities, we have the wonderful Claudia Gramalia here, and she is happy to translate. So if anybody is here that would like that, you can come on down, and if you're here for that, and otherwise we can, if you want her to walk around with you after this, that is really quite, whatever it's called. Anyway, so without further ado, I'm going to turn it over to Ms. Seahack, and she's going to get it started.
Right. Whoop. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Collinsville High School's freshman orientation and registration for the class of 2027. Woo! Hard to believe, right? Okay, so we have so many exciting things kind of going on at Collinsville High School that we want to share with you. So the class of 2022 last year, they earned over $7.2 million in scholarship money. So that's something awesome that kind of happened last year. We also have Southwestern Conference Sports Champions. We have IHSA Regional Champions, Sectional Champions, State Trophy winners, All-State musicians, All-State athletes, All-State academics teams. We actually had a historic football season this year where our K-Hawks, they made it past the first round of playoffs, so that was awesome. And we also have a play this weekend. Come see the Puffs. It's basically like a Harry Potter show. The nights are Thursday, Friday, Saturday night at 7 p.m. and on Sunday at 2 p.m. You can buy tickets at the door for $8 each. So some exciting things to kind of welcome you guys to Collinsville High School. Before we begin, we are going to introduce our administration. We have Mr. Toberman, who is our CHS principal. I think it's a great one, okay? We have Mr. McGinnis, who is our vocational director. We have Mr. Smith over there. He's our athletic director. On top of that, we also have 5 awesome assistant principals. They are kind of separated by last name. So we have Dr. Robinson, and she helps with students A through D. We have Mr. Key. He helps with students E through K. We have Mr. Wright, who's actually right over there. Right and right. Who is L through Q. And then we have Miss Fisher, who is P through Z. And that's our administrative team. We also have some wonderful counselors. I'm Ms. Seahack. I help students A through DI. We have Ms. Kurtz, who helps students DO through H. She's right there. We have Ms. Biebel. She helps students I through N. And then the next slide, we have Ms. Olson, who helps students O through R. And then we have Mr. Corey, who helps students S through Z. And we also have Mr. Lugie, who is our IEP coordinator. All right, so graduation requirements. Here at CHS, to graduate, we require 4 years of English, 3 years of math. 1 of those years has to be geometry. We require 2 years of science, 2.5 years of social studies, 1.5 years of PE, a half a year of health, a half a year of consumer education, a quarter of computer applications, and 1 year of art, music, foreign language, or vocational. That's typically that is what it is required to graduate from Collinsville High School. If you were thinking about going to a 4-year university, those have different admissions requirements, and typically what they are is 4 years of English, 3 to 4 years of math. We kind of lean on the side of 4 years, 3 years of science, 3 years of social studies, and 2 years of fine arts or a foreign language. Typically, when it comes to college admissions, it's best to look at the school and look at what their requirements are to kind of best fit what you need to prepare in high school to go on to a 4-year university. And now I'm gonna hand it over to Mr. Corey.
right, so as far as, turn this up just a little bit. Credits and graduation, it's 21 credits to graduate. So they were broken up by half credit per semester. So you can see you get a half credit for every class. Most, or all freshmen, will take 6 classes per semester. You get a half credit per class. So every class that you pass, you'll get 3 at the end, and then 6 for the entire semester. You'll actually graduate with more than 21 credits by passing all your classes. You actually have 24. So a lot of questions we get is, what classes should I take? Biggest thing is with English, math, and science, we will be getting recommendations from teachers, whether it's parochial teachers or middle school teachers. We do not have them yet, but we will be getting them. And then as far as other classes, just consider your study habits. Ms. Olson is going to go into depth about the difference between honors classes and pre-AP classes. Get ready for homework. I'm not sure if you have a lot of homework at the middle school, but we do give homework in every class, so you will have homework every single night. And we encourage you to take challenging classes. We don't want you overwhelmed, but we do want you challenged within your classes. So it's never too early to start planning for your future as far as a 4-year plan. Every one of you was giving a course offering guide when you walked in. I think a few pages in, there's a place where you can actually plan out all of your classes for 4 years. Ms. C, I talked about the requirements for college. So thinking about, if you are going to go to college, what classes that you need to take as far as foreign language, or if you need to take anything else. So we're all here to help, whether it's counselors, teachers, principals, everybody's on the same page. We want your students to be successful. So we have a lot of people in the lobby that are here to answer all of your questions. We also have a program called Naviance that if you are at the middle school, you just got it. You can take several assessments to kind of figure out what you want to do career-wise, your personality, your learning styles, things of that nature. We have our Council Area Vocational Center, has a ton of vocational programs in it. There's a lot of intro classes you can take as a freshman, and then there's more vocational classes you can take as a junior or senior that are 2.5-hour classes. So again, the course I've got to give you has a description of all classes in them. So if you're wondering what is Intro to Welding, you just look in the vocational section and they're alphabetically. You will look up a description. Those descriptions are written by the staff, so you're getting a pretty good look at what they actually are. So strongly consider that. So when filling out your sheet, there's a lot of things that we need. It's last name, first name, middle initial at the top. You're going to circle your t-shirt size. I'm sorry, I'm fighting a little bit of cold. No. And then you'll pick your classes. We're going to go in depth in picking those classes and how that all works and how it all plays out. When you're done, it should look something similar to this. I said last name at the top, t-shirt size. You're going to circle your English, math, science classes that you so choose. You'll sign it, students sign it, and then we'll go into more detail about the back. So here is Ms. Olson to go over the difference in honors classes.
All right. And we're so excited to have you guys here. And we're going to kind of jump into now the different types of classes and things that you're going to see on the yellow registration worksheet. One thing that you will notice when you look at that, especially for the core classes, there's basically 2 different options for most things. There's regular classes and something that's called honors. And what honors classes or AP, as you go further along in your junior, senior years, basically those are the hardest classes that Collinsville has to offer. What makes them hard is that they a lot of times will have summer homework attached to them, especially the AP classes. There's more, they go more in depth, they go faster, so they can cover more material, because at the end of the whole, basically if you would do the honors track for English, we'll just use that as an example, by the end of it, your junior and senior year, you can take AP exams, and if you get a 3 or better, basically your child would earn college credit, and so wouldn't have to do English 101 in college. So basically that's kind of what those classes are, and with that, I'm going to kind of tie in the grading system here at the high school as well. The honors classes, because of their rigor, gets basically more points on the GPA scale. So we have weighted grades here at the high school. So regular classes, and this is basically there's three different types of classes at the high school. And there's regular, there's enriched, and then there's these honors AP classes. And so an A in a regular class is worth 4 points. Enriched classes are worth 4.5, and then an A in an AP or an honors class is worth 5. And so, like what Mr. Corey showed you, with each student has like 6 classes in their first semester. Based on the different grades that those students earn, those points are, and the types of classes that they're in, those points are assigned to those grades, and that is how GPA is calculated. They would then add all the points together and then divide by 6. And so, and that's kind of how that works. If you guys have any questions about this, please let us know. Like what we talked about, we're going to be at the counselor table after that, and we are happy to go into more detail about that. So we're going to basically just start with the different types of classes and what they are. And so your first block in your yellow sheet is English choices, and basically we have 2 options for you as far as freshman English goes. We have regular English 1 and honors English 1. Both are college preparatory. Both you learn a variety of writing skills, grammar. You read a variety of novels. Both classes do write a research paper. The difference between the regular English and honors is basically it's you're reading more books, you're writing more papers, and the focus is to get you ready for AP English at the 11th and 12th grade levels. So it really is, they do move a lot faster than the regular, but they both are college preparatory. The second box is math, and there are basically sort of 2 options. The first, hold on here. I don't know if you can see that. No, I don't think you can. Okay, that's good. There's a pop-up here that just took up over my whole screen. Anyway, if you are I'm going to start with the bottom one, which is honors geometry. If your student is in algebra at the middle school, this is an option for you. If you're getting an A or a very high B and feel very, very, very confident in your algebra skills as an 8th grader, then I would consider honors geometry. If you're in algebra and you are not doing so well in algebra as an 8th grader, or you're really struggling and you're getting a decent grade, but it's a lot of work, I would maybe consider taking regular algebra 1 again. And we'll talk about why here in a second. But because to graduate high school, you need 3 years of math, and where you'll end up with your 3rd year of math requirement, let me tell you, we have kids every year that have pushed through because they didn't want to do algebra again, even though they struggled through it as an 8th grader, and then they're sitting there junior year doing pre-calculus, and they're not being very successful. And so with math, especially for those of you that took algebra in middle school, I would think about kind of your math skills, how much you're really, how much you're struggling now, and then think about pre-calculus junior year, needing that to graduate, and really talk to your teacher. The math department is here, so I would definitely be talking to the math department tonight if you are in that situation. If you are in Math 8, basically you have 2 choices. You have Paced Algebra 1 and Algebra 1. If you have struggled this year with math, and it really that is probably the thing you struggle with the most, you might want to think about Paced Algebra. That class is an hour and a half. So what happens is they have an hour-long class, and then they have an extra half an hour attached to it, which is basically where most kids have their study hall. Instead, you have another half an hour of support in the math class for algebra. Regular Algebra 1 is just is an hour-long class, and then you have your study hall like normal. And so definitely, again, I want to encourage you guys to talk to your current 8th grade math teacher, and also the math teachers that are here tonight to answer any questions about that. And this here, maybe, oh no, restart needed. Sorry, there's now It's not my 9 here. Okay, there we go. This here is the chart that basically talks about, because you need 3 years of math to graduate. So if you start with Algebra 1 or PACE, because they basically cover the same amount, the same material, it just depends on, basically how much time you have in class. But basically, if you start with Algebra 1, you hit Algebra 1, Geometry as a sophomore, and then Algebra 2 as a junior. But if you do Geometry Honors, you'll see that they go Geometry Honors, Algebra 2, and then Pre-Calculus, some version of Pre-Calculus. So definitely something to think about. Like Ms. Seahack said, you need 2 years of science to graduate high school. And there are a few different options for when you enroll here. There is physical science, which is a general science class. It is a physical science, and I realize that's the name of it, but it also meets the physical science requirement, where they study matter, power, weather, rocks, like basically non-living things. The other option is one of the 2 different types of biology, which both cover the life science component of the required science to graduate high school, which is animals, plants. They do dissection. The difference between regular biology and honors biology, and both are college preparatory, but honors biology does move faster, and they cover the same topics, but they cover them more in depth. So they have to, they do more dissection. They learn more details about the plant system or the animal kingdom, things like that. For the honors biology class, I will say you have to be a more independent learner. So definitely keep that in mind when you're thinking about signing up for honors biology. All 3 of these, I will say this, English, math, and science, we will be getting teacher recommendations from the middle school. And I think Mr. Corey talked about that a little bit, but basically what will happen is we will get recommendations. We also want you guys to you know your child the best, put what you think is best, but if it doesn't line up, we'll definitely be reaching out to you to try and make sure we're going to have them be as successful here at the high school as possible, because that's our goal. We want high school to be a positive experience. We want them to learn and be challenged, but we also want to make sure that they're not either being bored in class or drowning, trying to find that happy medium. So with that, I'm going to turn the mic over to Mrs. Biebel, and she'll take it from there.
Okay, so moving further down your yellow sheet, we're going to get to our PE section. Now, this is going to be a little bit different, so bear with me while we talk through it. We have, of course, regular run-of-the-mill physical education. In that class, you have an opportunity to partake in so many different sports that it's awesome. You also have the capacity to kind of go at your own pace if you need to, which is great. You can walk around the gym, you can try your hand at basketball, so many different things going on with that one. Your next option is aerobic fitness. Now, we tell kids this is the one where you are moving and grooving. You can do aerobics, Zumba, and P90X. So if you like being active and you want to get that cardio rolling, that's a great opportunity for you. Say you want to chill out a little bit. We have wellness PE as an option also. In that class, you get the opportunity to practice yoga and Pilates, as well as mindfulness. So it's a great option for those students who maybe just need a relaxing point in their day. Feel free to pull up that one for your choice. And then finally, if you're interested in marching band actually takes the place for a PE credit. So if that's what you're interested in, circle it. And then some of our marching band students also will take symphonic band. If that's the case for you, next to your PE choice, which would be marching band, you're going to write in symphonic band. You still have an opportunity to pick more electives too, so we'll talk about that in a minute. Going on with that, all of our freshmen have the opportunity to take classes like consumer ed or career education. This class is so great because you learn about being an adult. Believe it or not, these kids are going to be on their own shortly, so it's an excellent time for them to learn things such about being a good consumer. They learn money management, taxes, careers, which is a big deal for us as counselors because we want to help you guys move on to the next level. Likewise, if your student is able to, based on their birth date, they get the opportunity to take driver's ed as a freshman. So a lot of our schools around here, sometimes these kids have to wait until almost their junior year, but you are lucky enough to be going to CHS. So that means that with your 9-week driver's ed class that will be scheduled based on your birth date, you also get to take computer applications. So I know our kids are digital natives, but this gives them a time to familiarize themselves with Microsoft Word, Excel, and PowerPoint, all things that they're going to be able to need to know for the next 4 years to get through their time with us. So section 6, this is the exciting part for our kids. This is our elective section. Your students get to choose whether or not they want a year-long elective or 2-semester electives. All of those are listed on the back of your yellow page where you can go through and check it out. You can choose from a variety of departments, so pretty much anything you are interested in, we're going to have an option for you. We have our fine arts, band or choir, business, family and consumer science, world languages, industrial and technology education. So at that time when you're getting to check your electives, on the back of it, you're going to take a look. You're going to pick about 5 of those classes that you think look awesome. Once you have that narrowed down, I want you to number them, 1 through 5. Number 1 being the class you absolutely cannot live without. You're going to cry if you don't get it. And number 5 being the class that, if I maybe get it, that's fine too. The important thing is that we have different options available just in case the class doesn't make, or in case we need to move your schedule out to make it work. We also have your alternate electives, so your second choices, kind of like I said, we're going to circle 5 of them, number 1 through 5. Those classes, 2nd through 5th, are your backup classes, so just in case it doesn't work. Take some good consideration to kind of really think about what you are interested in. And then that brings us to Mrs. Kurtz, so here she comes.
I know, I'm not that tall either. All right, so once you have circled those classes on the back of the sheet for your electives and number them, this is an example of what the back of your sheet will look like after you follow those instructions. We also offer summer school. So summer school is available for credit recovery. So if a student does not pass one of their classes, they are allowed to make it up in summer. They actually have the opportunity to earn 1 full credit in just 22 days or 6 hours a day, or they can do half a credit in just 22 days by going a half day, only 3 hours. So summer school registration forms will be available mid-February. We also offer Upward Bound at the high school, and these are selective programs for students interested in going into college that are from low-income or first-generation families, and they will be coming to the middle school in the spring to give more information and to talk to students about signing up for the program. And so your next steps for registration, you're going to want to make sure you go through the front and the back of the sheet to circle your courses. You're going to go ahead and if you have any questions about any of those elective courses, you can go on our website and watch the videos to learn more about their classes. You can even watch a tour of CHS on the website. And then if you have any questions about specific classes, you can email the teachers of each department on the contact sheet. This information was emailed to you, but you can also find it at khawks.org. We also have all of the sports clubs and organizations listed there, and you just want to make sure that you turn in your completed registration forms to either CMS at their main office or our counseling department office by Friday, December 3rd. So if you do have your sheets completed, you are welcome to turn them in to us this evening. We are collecting them at our table by the doors before you go. Also, if you come on Saturday, okay, so don't forget also on Saturday we have our open house from 8 to noon or 1 to 3. It's first come, first served meetings with us counselors. You can meet with us one-on-one to get your questions answered. There will also be student-led tours. And so thank you so much for coming, but before we dismiss this evening, we just want to let you know that all of the different departments are in the auditorium lobby, so you can meet with them and get some more information or get any questions answered. We also have sports clubs and organizations set up in the auxiliary gym. You'll just go out to the right and go into the gym, and you can talk to them as well. So, is there anything else?
And then if you do need translations help, come on down here and we'll get you that service. But yeah, otherwise you guys are free to leave here and go talk to teachers, go talk to sport coaches or club sponsors. And thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.